As many of you are probably aware, I am enjoying the new first-person team-based shooter, Lawbreakers. This game is so unique in the fact that it has low gravity that it just makes me want to play it. I don't know, I just have a blast playing this game too much. I really can't take this game too seriously due to the fact that, well, it's low gravity. You really can't take anything seriously in that scenario. But the classes, in my opinion, are what make this game. AKA the characters, as the developers call them. I don't know why, but hey, that's what they are. The characters in this game are very unique in themselves. One thing I do enjoy about the characters in this game is, unlike any other team-based shooter, they're not all the same character. On the Law side, you have one character, and on the Breaker side you have another character, but they fill the same specific role. That way they still play the same, but they're actually different people. So in this top 9 list, due to the fact that they don't have 10 characters yet, we're going to be talking about the my top 9 favorite classes. Now keep in mind that this is all opinion based. I am definitely probably not going to be on the same side as many of you on some of these choices, but just keep in mind that this is just my opinion. Your opinion matters too, so please drop a comment and tell me what your opinion is on some of these. If you agree with my opinion, that's great, but if you have a different opinion, please let me know in the comments. So let's get started. Number 9 is the Harrier. I honestly don't know why I dislike the Harrier too much. I just feel that unlike all the other characters in the game, the Harrier is actually the least impactful. Labeled as attack / support, kind of like the battle medic, the Harrier basically brings her support dispenser, and then everything else in her kit is mainly for offensive purposes. The main problem I have with Harrier is that the dispenser is more than useless almost. Rarely have I ever come across a Harrier and have a dispenser at the same time. I mean, there will be that rare chance that I find my Harrier's dispenser just lying around. But still, I don't personally pick it and go searching for it rather than searching for the health packs where I know are. If they gave it a little indicator where Harrier's dispenser is, then maybe I would think of Harrier as more reliable. Harrier is definitely one of those characters that you have to go in as a team with in order to capitalize on something. But even at that, her damage isn't extraordinary, and she will get picked off very fast in a team fight. I guess her main saving grace is her ultimate, which is very powerful and probably will get toned down in the future. Just saying, I'm calling it. But still, that's on a major cooldown, so you might not even win the game just because of that ultimate. But still, I feel like she's the least impactful character. Here's hoping that she gets a buff to her weapon that makes her a little bit stronger, or just giving that dispenser the love it needs to make her a full support. Now we're at number 8. And number 8, I'm putting the Vanguard. Now you might be saying, well Nick, the Vanguard is a fantastic hero. Yeah, she is. A little too fantastic if you ask me. I played the Vanguard myself and I found it laughable how easy it was to take down a lot of people. Vanguard is easily super strong, and there's very few people that can get around to the Vanguard. So here's my main complaint about the Vanguard. She puts out just a way little too much damage per second. Like for instance, her gun is a Gatling gun that has 60 bullets, and basically the gimmick with the gun is that it will rev up, and then once it's done revving up, you're shooting at top speed and you can shoot people from mid-range. Now keep in mind, with her ability, which is Jet, I don't actually remember the actual name of the ability right now, I'm just going to call it Jet. The ability basically allows you to close in the distance. And then she has another ability, which is her alt fire, which is basically like a burst that knocks people back. This is essentially to keep people from getting too close to you so that you can't dish out that damage. And then she has her other ability, which is her E, which is basically throwing a bunch of grenades in someone's face, and they do a ton of damage. Now here's my problem with this ability, well, hero in general, is that she just has way too much damage on her kit compared to the other characters. In a skill-based shooter, this character seems to be less skill and more just relying on her abilities and just does too much. Like, I find it way easier to play her than any other character in the game, so I think she needs to be toned down just a little bit. I personally think that if she was toned down just a bit, maybe she'd be more enjoyable to play. I don't know, she just feels too easy to get away with at this point. Next we have the Juggernaut. The Juggernaut, in my opinion, is probably the best tank in the game. See, the Juggernaut's main gimmick is that his ultimate is what makes him so tanky, and you have to pretty much conserve that ultimate. The ultimate is armor up, which is what it sounds. When you use it, you kind of just become super tanky and you almost never die. Now, it's not too bad as, like, say, it's not like too reduced damage. Like, you can still kill them if you put enough effort into it, but it's still a little cheesy in my opinion. Like, the cooldown of this ability is very low. Even if you got the cooldown down, he can completely negate the cooldown by just turning it off mid of his like usage, and then he can turn it back on. It's at that point you're just asking for someone to abuse it. Now I know what the developers are going here. Conservation is going to be what makes him a very powerful character, and I understand that. But still, it's just a little too much. Maybe if they changed like when they turn it off and they can turn it back on, maybe the duration will be back to the way it is. But at the moment, it's just a little too strong for my taste. And his other abilities, like the wall is okay, except that it kind of blocks the vision of your teammates. I'd kind of like it more if like your teammates could see through it, but couldn't shoot through it still. So they could still see the enemy, but the enemy couldn't see you, you know? That would be kind of cool. And then we have his shift. His shift is, well, a generic run. And it's a very good ability, I'm not going to deny it. It's very useful, I won't complain about that. It's just mainly his armor up ability I have problems with. And then his shotgun. Since the open beta, his shotgun has received a nerf. His overall kit has received a nerf, and I agree that that was the thing, even though it was intentional to nerf him, to buff him overpowered so that they could see what his kit was used like. I understand that. But you see, at this point, I'm wondering, like, maybe like we just need like his armor up to be nerfed just a bit, and I think Juggernaut will be the perfect staple. Like, he would be in a perfect place, and maybe I'd play him more. He's just right now, he's just like, he's too reliant on his armor up. We need to make him more reliant on his other abilities. Number 6 is the Assassin. Now, the Assassin, in my opinion, is a great character, and she's definitely one of the more powerful characters in the game, and that's without said. Her abilities all coincide with another. Her grappling swords are amazingly used, especially if you pull off a great combo. It just makes it so satisfying. You can tear down tanks if they don't know if it's coming, and it's just fantastic. But I have one problem with the Assassin that puts her this low. Her shotgun is more reliable than her actual knives. You know, the things that she was shown in the trailer using that she should be more reliant on. The whole point of a secondary is that to have something to fill in the moments where you can't use your primary. And that's exactly how all secondaries should be. So, for the Assassin's case, she should be more reliant on her knives than her actual shotgun. The shotgun should be only used if like the opponent is low health and manages to get too far away from you, and you can just pull out that shotgun and just shoot them down really quick. I'd understand that. But here's my problem. The shotgun is so good that you don't even have to use the blades. I can even go online and prove this. So many people use the shotgun rather than the knives because it's just more reliable at that case. And I feel that shouldn't be the case. The shotgun is just way too powerful. They need to tone down the shotgun just a little bit. But other than that, that's pretty much it about the assassin. That's what puts her this low, is the fact that her kit is just not where it needs to be right now. It's just way too unbalanced. Maybe if they toned down the shotgun a bit and just gave the knives just a little bit of a boost, not too much though, then we would start to see the actual assassin players, you know, the ones that are supposed to like sneak up on people and kill them from behind. Yeah, those kind of characters. If we start seeing that more, maybe I'll start playing the assassin again. Number 5 is the Gunslinger. The Gunslinger, in my opinion, is pretty much the most well-balanced class all around. It's mainly skill-based. The gimmick with this class is that you have to be very good at aiming. Nah, duh. That's pretty much every class in this game. Well, the Gunslinger is more definite about this. His pistol is a 3 burst shot pistol that has 3 rounds in it. So basically 9 bullets, if you didn't get the math right. And then his right click, which is his Omega rifle, is mainly the bread and butter of this class. And the reason for that is it does so much damage, and God forbid if you get a headshot, it's going to do massive damage. He's essentially the sniper of the group. He's very strong, and I really like how they did this character. You want to use that Omega shotgun as much as you can at longer distances, and reserve the pistol for finishing off targets that you got low, or to handle close range engagements. The gimmick with this class is you might want to stay mid to long range with your enemies, because most of the time if you get in a close range fight you're not going to win. His blink ability, which we all know what they were going for with this ability, allows him to blink forward and dish out a lot of damage. If you shoot right after you warp, you will gain a warp combo, which is when you fire your gun as you come out of the warp. It does increase damage, and if you manage to kill someone, you get the warp combo kill, which is honestly one of the hardest kills to get. I have tried, it's very hard. His E ability, which is kind of meh, I don't know, it comes useful, but I don't usually use it that much, which is kind of a shame. I should probably use it more, because it's a good weapon. It allows you to capitalize on people coming around corners, but still, it's a little underwhelming. His ultimate, although, is a game changer. His ultimate, if used correctly, can wipe teams, and I mean that. So basically what his ultimate does is it changes the mode of his guns to basically a rapid fire mode that does extreme amount of damage, and it just wipes out anyone that's in the range. I have gotten 4 kills in a row with this ultimate before. It is a very powerful ultimate. Of course, the downside of this ultimate is you have to be alive in order for it to keep continuing, and if you die, your ultimate is used up. So please, you have to be very careful with this. So you have, basically the right use of this is to sneak up on enemies and then dish out the ultimate. That way you get the most out of it. Other than that, Gunslinger is more of a well-balanced class. I can't see anything wrong with him, and I think he should be used more often. Next, we're going to be talking about the Enforcer. Now, the Enforcer is a very well-balanced class also. He's essentially like any Call of Duty shooter. You shoot the gun. At the beginning, it's pretty controlled, but then once you start shooting it more, it starts becoming more sporadic shooting. Then his secondary is kind of like a taser shotgun, which does extreme damage up close, And then you have his left shift, which if you shift with your left shift, obviously, you basically start running, but not only does it make you run faster, it makes your firing speed, reload speed, and pretty much everything move faster. And this goes for your entire team in your vicinity. This doesn't just go for you. Now the main thing that you're going to want to use a lot is his EMP. His EMP is very useful. If you throw it onto an enemy and it hits them, they essentially become immobilized for a couple minutes. This is dangerous for the enemy team. They can't use any of their abilities, which for some classes it's very important that they use their abilities. So if you land this on the right class, say a Juggernaut, you can instantly toast them. The Enforcer is just a great, well-balanced character. I can't really see too much that differs him from any other class. He's kind of like the Gunslinger. He's pretty well balanced at this point, and I don't see any reason to change him at the moment. He's just very good. Oh, and his ultimate, it's godly. The Release the Hounds is probably one of the best damaging ultimates in the game. I reserve this for any tank that's in the way, say a Juggernaut, and I just mow him down with it. It's just great. Number 3 is going to be the Wraith. The Wraith is the type of character that always ends up being in the category of he's overpowered / underpowered. And I say that the Wraith is pretty much equal. Much like the Assassin, the Wraith is more of like an assassin character. You gotta get up behind and dish out a lot of damage to the people. His primary fire, which is his kind of like submachine gun, does incredible damage and is kind of like a burst fire technique. If you shoot at long range, you're gonna more likely want to go for the burst fire, controlled bursts. But when you're at close range, go ahead and full auto that gun. Next, we're gonna be talking about his ultimate fire, which is his Wasp Knife. The Wasp Knife does amazing damage, and I mean amazing damage. Essentially what the Wasp Knife does is it stabs the opponent, and when you get the opponent low with your gun, you get an indicator when you're close enough to him that your Wasp Knife will kill him instantly. So it's definitely a combo you're going to want to do. The general combo is to shoot him with the gun and then slide into him and then knife him. His E ability is probably one of the most underused abilities in the game. His E ability is so good, I use it any moment I can, especially against tanks. Basically what this does is that you shoot your knife blade into someone and then it will detonate in a certain number of time, or you can shoot it and it will detonate there. If you land this onto someone, it will do the wasp damage of getting stabbed, and then it will also do explosive damage when you shoot them, which deals insane amount of damage. Trust me, this is the class you want to go if you want to take down Juggernauts super quickly. If you just sneak behind a Juggernaut and you shoot him with the Wasp Knife and then just take him down, you are almost guaranteed to kill him. It is insane. But other than that, everything else about him is pretty good. His ultimate is very useful as like a team thing, like for your team to catalyze on. But other than that, if you're alone using this ability, you're not going to get much use out of it. The main point of this class is just to be sneaky. If you're sneaky, then you'll capitalize on good things. Number 2 is the Battle Medic. This is the main healer of the game, and I don't understand why people don't like playing the Battle Medic. He is very fun to me. Basically, the Battle Medic is what it sounds like. You're mainly going to be using your attacking format to dish out damage, but you're still going to be healing on the fly. Basically, what Lawbreakers wanted to go with this class is that they didn't want you to be restricted to healing instead of doing some damage. So they made a class perfect for this. The Battle Medic basically does what they wanted to do. It's essentially a better Harrier in my opinion. Alright, so let's get a rundown. His gun is a grenade launcher. If you need any idea of how it works, TF2 Demo Man, that's pretty much how it works. So the left click is going to fire them in direct explosions, while right clicking is going to fire them into bouncing moments, so that you can hit like corners and try to hit some guy behind the corner. That's basically what you're gonna get with this. His shift ability turns on his hover pack, which makes him a lot more mobile and a lot easier to control in the low gravity sections. This is what makes him so good, is that he can control himself in any situation, and it makes him very good. He's very good at getting away, basically. You can just get away very easily with this character. And then his E ability is his healing drones. Basically, you just look at someone that's low health, you press E, and your healing drone will go heal them. You have 2 of these, so the cooldowns go by 2 each. And then his ultimate ability, which is basically a giant barrier that pushes people off. The main point of this ability is the part that makes them push off. I like that part. If you get into a massive team fight, you can just use your ability in the middle of that and it will push all the enemies away from your team, thus allowing your team to get healed by the bubble and also offering protection. It's great for capitalizing on team fights. The Battle Medic, in my opinion, is just one of the more reliable characters. He can dish out a lot of damage and he can heal at the same time, definitely making him a powerful character. Well, we've made it all through all of the others, so you already know what number 1 is, and in my opinion, it's the Titan. The Titan is just in such a good place right now. His rocket launcher does so much damage, and then if you get the enemies low with your rocket launcher, you could just easily switch over to your lightning gun and just finish it off with that. And then his left shift allows you to close the distance with them, allowing with a lot of damage as well, the longer you hold it. And then his E ability just basically makes it easier to hit your rockets, and I just love that. The Titan just has a massive pool of health and a massive amount of damage output that it makes it hard not to pick this character. And the main downside is his movement ability. His movement, he has no movement ability, but you can completely negate that with per rocket jumping. So it's almost nothing. And then his ultimate is probably the only ultimate that can legitimately be a game changer. His ultimate basically makes the Titan this behemoth and essentially gives him godlike health and gives him attack boost heaven with that Force Lightning Palpatine ability. I just love screaming unlimited power every time I do this. It's just so satisfying. But this ability is just so good, and I just love the way they made this ability. And Titan in general is just a good character. He's very good. He's picked almost in every ranked play, and he's just very good. And unlike Bhangarh, it does take a little skill to use Titan. Like, you can't just go in, you just can't just go in and deal a bunch of damage. You gotta be more tactical. You gotta land your little proximity mine so that you could slow down enemies. But anywho, I'm overstaying my welcome here. Titan's amazing, and that's all I have for this. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I will be streaming Lawbreakers as much as I can, and I'll also be doing videos on Lawbreakers as well. If you want to follow me on Twitch, my Twitch is twitch.tv/TheKnuckleKing. And then of course you're already at my YouTube channel, so please subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, so thank you all so much for watching, and let me know if I should do more of these types of videos by giving me a thumbs up. And if you found something that I should have done better, please comment down below and let me know what I should do better. These things, I'm trying to do more of these, and I'm not really used to doing these too much yet, so I need more of like constructive criticism. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Peace out and stay awesome. Farewell, everyone.